Do you want to learn English the American way? If so, then join the lesson today. English the American way with Laurel's Learning Lab.
Hello everyone, this is Laurel with Laurel's Learning Lab and American English Q&A video series. This is my new canvas covered sign, and I'm going to use it every time I have the video now because it's better than using it in a frame. So moving along with my question and answer series here, we have question 5 today. And question 5 is a similar one to question 4. Now, we talked last week about the fact that you can use different sounds to indicate whether you have a T or D sound at the end. But the other one that I'm teaching this morning about the T and D sound is what you do when you add an extra syllable. Should I add an extra syllable or not? And if I do add an extra syllable, why? Why do I add it? So listen to these words. Planted, started, treated, waited, heated, attracted. What do they all have in common? They have a certain sound right before the ED. Now listen to this one, this list. Landed, folded, added, rated, loaded, recorded. What do those all have in common? If you guessed T for the first column and D for the second column, you are right. The first column had T at the end of the word, plant, planted. The second one had D at the end, land, landed. Now, I know in American English we don't usually say planted. I planted a tree. We usually say I planted. So you can't really hear that T very well. But if you say them like a T, planted, started, treated, you sound more British. But if you say planted, started, treated, then you sound more American. But the T is still there either way in the spelling. So if you have a word that ends in T, you add the ED onto it, and because you can't say planted, you can't say planted, right? You have to say that extra syllable. It makes more sense to say it this way. So you say planted or planted, either way. And you have that extra syllable as a way to show the past tense. Plant, present tense. Planted or planted, past tense, right? Same thing with landed. There's no way to say landed, right? You have to say landed. Landed. I landed in America. All right? D-E-D. Say the E-D separate. Landed. Folded. Added. Right? Sounds a lot like the T, but it's spelled with the D. All right. So let's talk about words that don't have the T or D sound in them. Do we make those an extra syllable for the ED? The answer is no. If it doesn't have a T or a D at the end, then we don't add the extra syllable. So for example, we have the word work. How do we make that past tense? Worked. Now again, that's from last week. We say the T at the end even though it's spelled with a D. Lived, saved, laughed, called, arranged, all those. So that was last week's lesson. This week's lesson is about when you add the ED as an extra syllable on. So go through this video again as many times as you need to. Figure out if the word has a T or a D in the spelling. And if it does, then you say the ED is extra. Let me give you some bonus words. Cleaned. Do you say ED? No, you don't. Needed. Yes, you do. Decide. Decided. Right? Because it has that D at the end of decide, even if it has the E It's still the sound of D at the end. Decide. Decided. Prepared. Don't need to add the extra, do you? Because it has an R. It's not a T or D. And the last one is represented. If you represent somebody in court or somewhere else, and then you do past tense, it's represented. So we do 4 syllables instead of 3. All right, I hope that helps. I know it's short and sweet, but I wanted to get this message across, and I hope it helped you. And if it did, then see you in the next video. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.